Good morning, everybody. You're very welcome along to this podcast this morning. So, recently on social media you would have noticed, I have been focusing an awful lot on resilience. And this is resilience in the body, both in your immune system and also resilience in your mental health as well. So, having seen the effect of the last 6 months on people, it's pretty obvious that people's resilience has been wholly challenged. So today we're going to focus a little bit on the emotional side of it, the mindfulness meditation side on boosting your resilience as well, okay? So when I'm talking about resilience, I'm talking about anything, be it food, be it exercise, be it mindfulness, meditation, it could be cold water swimming, anything that basically helps support and boost your resilience for when the tough times come in life, okay? So I'm delighted this morning to be joined by Lorraine Rooney from Wellbeing NI. So I know Lorraine from both yoga and also I have attended her mindfulness courses. So she's the expert in this, not me. So we're going to run through a couple of nice basic bits here this morning to sort of give you an idea how mindfulness and maybe meditation for you can help sort of be another tool in your backpack for helping boost your resilience. So good morning, Lorraine, you're very welcome.
Good morning, Anya. Thanks very much for having me on. It's a pleasure to talk about these things and see how we can help people, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's kick it off. First of all, tell us in a nutshell, what is mindfulness?
Yeah, well, it's a practice. It's a way of living. And when we use the word practice, it's not about bringing something new into your life, like learning a new instrument or learning how to, develop a new talent or a new skill. This is about really a practice of learning more about yourself, being able to be aware of yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, and your behaviors. So I know that can sound a bit strange because you think you sort of know yourself, but a lot of the time we're really on autopilot. So we don't really know what we're reacting to. We don't really know what or recognize that we might even feel stressed or upset or anxious or feeling down. So it gives us the ability to be more mindful about ourselves, and we become, mindfulness is about you taking care of you. I call it a self-care therapy, that only you can take care of yourself, and that's why it's so good, because you learn yourself, you learn more about yourself more, and then you can manage that better. And there's no better person but yourself to take care of your own physical and mental health,
Absolutely, absolutely. It's self-care, isn't it? Complete self-care.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give us an idea. How does it benefit the body, both mentally, emotionally, and physically as well? What benefits sort of does it bring to us?
Yeah, and that's the most powerful aspect of it, really. It is really beneficial. The good thing is it's scientifically proven, so anybody can Google it and look it up, and you'll see lots of statistics over the years about how mindfulness and meditation really helps our mental and physical well-being. Some of the benefits you will feel are, without a doubt, you'll feel a better sense of well-being on your physical mind. And when you're feeling better, mentally, it affects your body physically. So you are going to reduce stress. You're going to reduce your anxieties. It can reduce your depressive moods. It can lift your energy. It can help you feel more focused on what you want in life. It can improve your concentration. It can improve your memory, helps you feel happier in life. You feel more positive, changes your outlook on yourself and your life and your overthinking. The overthinking mind creates so much stress. So the fact that you know that you're overthinking and you're getting carried away with things, you can come back, bring it all into perspective and be more functional mentally and physically. And I think that's the whole thing. And it's just so easy to put this into practice. I think that's the thing. Everyone thinks, oh, I've got to dedicate time. You don't dedicate time to this as such. Meditation, yes, but the rest of it is all awareness. So you just suddenly become more aware of yourself. And I suppose the impact is you're stepping out of that automatic pilot, running through your day with blinkers on, not seeing and feeling anything, and moving out of survival mode. Life isn't to survive every day. Life is to live and enjoy it every day. I know that can be a cliche, but you can actually do that with mindfulness.
I suppose it's really moving from that fight or flight mode into the lovely rest and digest, which is where we want people to be for their overall health, isn't it?
Absolutely right. You've hit the nail on the head there. And we believe, or we've taught ourselves, or we've learned from the world, that stress survival mode is the way to live every day. That's how we survive. That is not. That's the least way, the smallest way that we need to live. The resting and thriving is really what's important, and we don't thrive in stress mode.
No, we don't. And to be honest with you, is what we're seeing, I suppose, is in recent months and recent times, is the effect of stress on even lowering immunity. So is that, if we take it down to the basics, is that if you want to stay well, the idea of bringing so much more calmness into your life, and apart from the fact is you're going to feel so much happier on a day-to-day basis as well. And also as well, if you think about it, even things like dealing with the kids coming in from school, all the stresses of that, all of that is going to be so much easier, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is the whole thing about mindfulness. It helps you manage the daily stresses that build up. And so you've got like your daily ones in the background, you've got a backdrop of all the other stuff that's going on in the world that you might be conscious of and aware of. But it's managing your little world, your day-to-day stuff. And when you manage those daily stresses, which are not wrong, it's not wrong, those you're reacting to them. It's knowing that you can manage that, bring your stress levels down, bring your cortisol down, be in a calmer place, and manage it more effectively for your body and your mind,
And do you think you were talking about the benefits there in reducing stress. So explain a little bit how the process of how it does that in the body as well, please, Lorraine.
Yeah, absolutely. When you go into survival mode, when you go into fight or flight, so that's anything that's triggered you. It could be you're late today, the children are upsetting us, the partner might be upsetting us, the news might upset us. You might even be upset with yourself because you're not running behind on things. You've dropped something in the kitchen on your way out. You feel you're running behind. So all this stress is building up. That's a stress hormone called cortisol that's going to run around your body along with adrenaline, and you're going to feel that in your body. And that's when you feel stress. Most of us don't recognize that as an issue, but that on a permanent daily basis is an issue for your body. So that is what stress feels like. It feels like nervousness, anxiety, dread, something bad's going to happen, I'm not on top of things. So it's a very general feeling, and we live with that every single day. And really, mindfulness allows us to know that's what stress is. That will impact your body. It's going to damage your body because it's temporary. It causes inflammation, it causes illnesses, all about that as well. So it's bringing that stress level down to a manageable place, and have it as a temporary measure, not a permanent lifestyle.
Yeah. I suppose it's really taking the step of sort of stepping outside initially and looking at yourself more objectively. It's almost like, I suppose going forward, you don't have to do that all the time, but initially it is having the ability to actually step outside and see what you really are like from an external point of view, isn't it? Because as you say, we do tend to not even recognize that we are in fight or flight mode on a general day-to-day basis. So it becomes our new norm, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And it becomes like if you're not stressed, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You start to recognize that being calm and peaceful is wrong. It's like a treat. Calm and peaceful is actually our natural state of being. And what I'd like to say is, being calm and peaceful doesn't mean you're not emotional, doesn't mean that you're so zen or chilled out that you're not that you're not enjoying life. That is actually the best place to start from, to enjoy your life. You can't enjoy life from a stressed place. It just gets worse.
Yeah. And overall, the effect on your mental health long term as well is just detrimental, isn't it? And so I suppose is, from the people that you've taught in your own classes and feedback that you've got, give us an idea of some of the lovely feedback or positive feedback that you've heard from people you've taught.
Yeah. One of the main things that people tend to say is that they just feel like themselves again. They feel like when they start mindfulness, they don't often, it's like, who am I? What am I doing? I'm running around and life's really busy. And then suddenly they suddenly start to think, oh, actually, I quite like myself again.
Yeah.
I quite like who I am.
Yeah.
They gain, and I did myself, you find the patience in your day, your impatience moves away.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you gain your patience, a lot of the changes they notice is they're calmer.
Mm-hmm.
They've had, including my own partner would say to me, because you didn't react there, you seem a lot calmer these days. And you're like, am I? I didn't know I wasn't calm, you know.
Yeah.
Or you're not reacting to things as much. And so you find that you go longer periods without even feeling angry, feeling stressed, feeling emotionally upset. So change in patience, change in looking calmer, and actually wanting to be more playful and fun. You want to do things like that.
Yeah.
And you actually got to start saying, I remember one person on a course saying that they felt really proud of themselves, that they could just walk out the house and say, right, that washing or that housework can wait till later. I'm going out and I'm going to go for a walk around the park.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's like finding the inner child again, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, one thing that really has helped people, and you mentioned at the very beginning of this, is our sleep improves.
Mm-hmm.
We get up to sleep better and we sleep longer, which and when we wake up, we don't get as stressed, we know how to manage it, and we go back to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
So sleep really improves a lot, and that's key to our health, you know.
Absolutely, absolutely. So for anyone that has never practiced mindfulness before, is maybe a little bit scared about it because maybe they feel like they wouldn't be able to, can you give us sort of suggestions on how somebody very new to the whole process would even start?
Yeah, absolutely. One of the biggest things, one of the simple things you can notice is really have a think or be aware of what's upsetting you in your day, you know, or who's upsetting you. And notice how even some of those things could be really small, but they feel really big.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be the fact that somebody didn't ring you today, or you didn't get through the supermarket queue quick enough, and it's just a very small thing, but you had a big reaction.
Yeah.
And you think, you know, that's like the tip of the iceberg. So it's not the queue that's upsetting you, it's something much more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Be aware of that and be able to just start to be aware of those small stresses. Mm-hmm. And start to think, why am I so upset with that? And maybe notice the feeling in your body, what it does to you. So notice all that stress building up and the reaction. You might find your breath gets faster. You might find your heart palpitating more. You feel tingles around your body. And just in that moment, just take 2 to 3 or 4 deep breaths. Yeah. Just breathe in and out. Just really nice deep breaths for a moment. Doesn't matter where you are. And what you're going to do is your breath is going to release your mind from that panic survival mode. Yeah. Just in those moments. The 3 or 4 deep breaths, and then breathe and just bring the mind here and just focus on your breath. You can do this anywhere. Yeah. You know, you can do it in your car, in the house. As soon as you start to feel panicky, you may need to take a few more breaths depending on how big that got. So you could easily do that any day. And then the other one, you could find an app and just do 5 minutes meditation a day. Any time in the day, at the minute, you know, don't get too hung up on it. Or listen to some very relaxing music. You don't have to meditate, but just calm the body down. Listen to your favorite relaxing music. Listen to something, or just sit in a room for a minute. And you don't have to close your eyes, but if you want to just close your eyes, a few more deep breaths, and do that 4 to 5 minutes every day, you will definitely feel a change in yourself.
That's very interesting, because I know myself when I'm working with clients, and my client base is generally women, sort of women 40 on, and one of the first recommendations I make in the first consultation is I use the 4-7 breathing technique with them. So just to get them started. If they're more advanced, we use more advanced breath work, but and I'm a huge fan of breath work. But even is just getting them into the habit of gifting that time to themselves. It is kind of a bit of self-love, self-care as well. It is gifting that 3 or 4 minutes to, you know, I do say to them when they're stirring the porridge in the morning, is just while you're stirring, it's so rhythmic and so relaxing, is do your breathing then. When you're in the car to work, when you could be sitting on the toilet and work, you could be anywhere. But even that 2-3 minutes of breathing in deeply is, you are in effect detoxifying the body as you're breathing out, and you're breathing out the negativity as well. So it's amazing, even the feedback I get is that people saying is, gosh, I never realized how simple breathing is, and actually how most of us don't know how to breathe properly. So you kind of have to teach. If for something that actually keeps us alive is learning the actual technique of breathing. I have seen it myself, is it's so calming. But I think it's just as well as I say, is gifting that time and a bit of self-love and a bit of self-care, that you actually deserve that, isn't it?
Absolutely, because nobody's going to tell you that. Nobody will ever say, go sit for 5 minutes and take care of yourself for a moment, or go and do this and I'll take care of me, or nobody's ever going to point out self-care.
Yeah.
They might mention and say, take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
No.
You're the only person who can make the decision to take self-care. And when you are taking care of yourself, you'll be able to take care of anything else.
That's exactly. And it really is. I know myself, and I've done one of your courses, so you might have been aware over years and years and years, and sometimes you just need to pull yourself back to it again. But I know during lockdown that I said, right, self-care needed, did the mindfulness course with you, and all it was accountability every week to turn up and keep doing it. And it's so funny because exactly what you said was, didn't react, just you don't react to stuff. And when you don't react, is the fight or flight doesn't kick in. But I have to say, is I know when I don't do it, and you get up in the morning and you think, oh, haven't got time, and then you think, well, you haven't time for what? So it's sort of allowing yourself to see it as part of your daily ritual, isn't it?
Absolutely. And it becomes the norm then. And when you don't do it, which can happen, you miss it.
Yeah.
And then you go back to it and go, oh, this is why I do it.
Yeah, that's it. I know that, absolutely. So Lorraine, give us an idea. Tell us how, obviously you run Wellbeing NI and you run courses around the country as well. So if anybody is, and obviously I tell my clients, but if anybody who's listening here today is interested in starting, maybe bringing it into their life slowly, is how can they get in touch with you? What do you offer? What's there for them?
Yeah. Everything is on my website, which is www.wellbeingni.co.uk. I also have a Facebook page the same, Wellbeing NI. So you can find me on Facebook and the internet. I run courses. I've reduced them. They're a 6-week course because they're done in person. I do sometimes do it online, depending on the situation at the minute. So they don't always have to be in person, but there are some running in that. Yeah. I also do retreats, or I also do one-to-one consultations if people want to work on a specific issue, and the mindfulness, you can target it just for that. So yeah, all that information is on my Facebook page and my web page.
Brilliant. Well, what I'll do actually at the end as well is when I post the video here, is that I'll put a link to that as well, so people can get in touch with you. So I suppose really the idea of the podcast this morning, as I said in the beginning, was to give people plenty of additional, simple, practical tools to have in their backpack to basically say, when times are tough, when times are tough, often that's when food goes out the window and we start eating other things. But you know what, is that having other things available to them as well as their diet that can aid their sleep, can help their immunity, their mental health. I always think that it mightn't be one thing that sorts you, but if you have a multitude of tools available, I think it's so much better for people.
Totally agree with you. I got into mindfulness 7 years ago, but then when I started mindfulness, I started being aware of my diet. I started being aware of exercise, and I started being aware of my lifestyle, and everything then just fell into place. So we either find the route through food, and then we go that way, or we find the route through exercise and we go that way. So it's it is a complete balance, and that's what helps us overall to get that sense of well-being, that sense of feeling good in our body, feeling nice inside, and feeling good in our mind.
That's it. And it's funny because then is also as well is I would work with a lot of women to do weight loss as well, but it's also gaining that acceptance of yourself as well through it, that you don't have to be a certain size, you don't have to be a certain number on the scales. It's that acceptance of who you are, really, isn't it? And I think that's such a benefit, isn't it?
Yeah, and being comfortable with them. you know, and not hating ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, it does come, acceptance doesn't mean we have to like it yet, but we get better at being and moving forward from that, you know.
Absolutely. Lorraine, it's been brilliant to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on today. I will let people know, I'll post your link and stuff like that, but thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us this morning. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thanks for asking me. I just hope somebody got a wee tip from us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks again, Lorraine. Talk soon.